great to see you again. I wanted to begin by asking you to talk about the magic of Guillermo del Toro and what it meant for you as a director to work with him as a producer and his contributions to the film.
Well, you know, who else of that status and of that pedigree looks for young first-time, I mean, I'm not that young, but for first-time directors, Guillermo. Guillermo is someone who's using his clout to help others. And so he, from day one, it was my dream to work with him. And so when I finally got to pitch it to him, it was the most nerve-wracking experience. And for him to say yes, and then to be there and guide me, it was incredible. I mean, as a producer, he's used to working with a lot of first-timers, so he kind of knows. He's kind of the ghost of Christmas future, and he can warn you about a lot of things.
And he's a producer who loves, as you said, working with young directors and really having them as his proteges.
And he was very tough on me.
In what way?
Like a lot of good college professors who are really, really tough. He would call me on stuff and basically be really harsh on me. And he would always end it with, I'm gonna be as harsh on you as I wish people were on me, so that you learn faster. And those were really, really tough phone calls sometimes. And you know, I would show him stuff, and he would, if it was really good, he'd be really into it. But if it was not something he thought, or he thought he could be better, he didn't hold back. So I am very thankful.
But at the same time, he allowed you to be the director. And
oh, absolutely.
Never encroached on that.
Never. I mean, as a director himself, he knows. Yeah. And he always said, at the end of the day, if this is terrible, it's your fault. So take that, and you have to make these decisions. I will tell you my advice, but at the end of the day, you are the director. And so I will protect your vision. I will protect what you want to do. But with that said, you know, like Spider-Man, with that power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. Now, when you're working with Guillermo del Toro, are you contractually obligated to cast Ron Perlman? Or how does that come about? I mean, because who wouldn't want Ron Perlman, of course?
Well, from day one, it was almost like, so is everybody okay with Ron Perlman playing Xibalba? Like, literally from the beginning. It was one of those things where, you know, I just knew, and I love Ron Perlman. I've been a huge fan my whole life, and it's one of those things where I feel like you get it. If you get Guillermo,
right, they're a package deal.
Yeah. And it was amazing working with Ron.
Well, and when you're talking about casting voice actors, I mean, he's got one of the great voices of all time.
Yeah, and he is so meticulous and good. I mean,
meticulous in what way?
For example, there would be scenes where I would say, okay, Ron, this is a really evil moment, and this is the moment where Xibalba's gonna basically tell Manolo, you are nothing but a human, I am a god. And he'd do a line, and it was really soft. And I would go, whoa, why'd you do that? And he'd go, well, that's how confident he would be at that moment. He doesn't need to do anything. So it was that type of stuff where it was like, I'm getting to work with one of the greatest actors out there. It was pretty amazing.
That's brilliant. The film deals with some amazing themes. I mean, themes of culture, religion, death, love, life, family, and at the same time in an animated film for adults as well, but children.
Yeah.
Tell me about sort of navigating those waters and working with all those themes for the type of film you were trying to make.
Well, as a lover of animation, those are my favorite animated movies. The ones that I enjoyed as a kid, but now as an adult, I watch again and I get all the subtext and I get all the sort of layers that are happening. So from the beginning, it was conceived to do that. And I love movies that have more than one theme. And I kind of like movies where everything is connected. So we really tried in the movie to sort of bring it all together. And yes, a movie about Day of the Dead for children is a really tough sell in the beginning.
Right.
But I think slowly we convinced everybody it's a celebration of life. It's really not a sad movie at all. It's not a scary movie at all. It's a joyous sort of explosion of color and histories and stories and love and music. I mean, I always joke that Manolo's superpower is love.
Yeah. Well, you can feel the heart of the film. I mean, you really can feel it, and I assume that's your heart that you feel.
Thank you.
The audience better feel it.
I from the beginning, I learned that we live in a really cynical time, and I truly believe that honesty and earnestness is the new punk rock. That's the most rebellious thing you can do these days, is just be heartfelt.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned punk rock, because the last question I want to ask you about is the music in this movie is amazing.
Oh.
And the way you were able to not only use Latin music, but hip hop and rock and kind of infuse them together. Can you talk about that concept?
Absolutely. From the beginning, the idea was, you know, I love music from everywhere. I grew up on the border, so I heard Mexican and US music. And one of the things that Mexicans do is they take things from all over the world and they make them their own. And so that was the intent from the beginning. I love Moulin Rouge. I love this idea that we can reinvent things. And once an artist puts out a song or a movie or a play or a book, someone else can grab it and turn it into something else. And that's kind of what we did with the music. And this idea that songs can speak for you, but ultimately it's up to you to write your own.
I just thought of this. This is the animated Moulin Rouge.
Absolutely.
Right? The animated Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite movies, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Jorge. Great talking to you. Thank you so much.